Hey everybody, BM Collectibles here, back for another statue unboxing review for you. The votes are in, and Charizard is the winner for the first to be showcased for his whole evolution line. Today is actually going to be a showcasing of 3 different statues. The first 2, Evolution, Charmander, and Charmeleon, are going to be by MFC Studio, and Charizard is made by DS Studio. All statues were shipped in this soft foam packaging. I will apologize in advance. Charizard, for some reason, the video file that I had got corrupted and I lost the packaging overview for that one. Usually after I'm done doing the video for the review process, I always put the packaging back together and stick it in my storage. It would have been a huge to-do to go back in there just to get a small shot. So get over it, all right? Yeah, get over it. MFC Studio does a nice job at balancing both a classy base and a nice effect to accent the character. On the bottom is 3 foam circular pads that help it keep balance. On the top is somewhat of a square piece that will help to connect Charmander to it later, and then there's some cavities over here that the effect particles will connect to. The effects are made of resin and painted over with a nice yellow, orange, and red touch to make it look fiery. Very fragile, but it has a little bit of a bend to it for some flexibility if needed. One area on YouTube that is massively unrepresented is Pokemon statues. If it's one passion I have, it's to let people know that there are other options out there other than cards. In fact, if you hang around to the end of the video, you will see my showcase of how I will be displaying them, and it's an awesome mixture of both statue and card. Getting a close-up look at Charmander, whoa, did they do an amazing job. The paint application looks so smooth and realistic, just like he jumped out of a television show or video game. The eyes do have a nice glossy effect on them that make them look a little bit more realistic. The large cavity on his back is what allows him to connect to the base. The tail flame was molded separately. It's held on by friction and just holds into place. Here's a close-up shot of how this all comes together. The move set that it looks like Charmander was going for is using Ember, where he's manipulating the fire on his tail to unleash an attack. One of my only complaints for the statue is the effects that are used in this piece almost look like they're liquid flame, when I wish they had a little bit more points to them so it looked like actual fire. Would you get in there? Take 2, gotta have the right angle to fit that in there nicely. Very dynamic pose that I love how Charmander almost looks like he's suspended in the air.
Hi everybody. My daddy subscribe for more awesome Pokemon statues.
Thanks, baby girl, and if you want to see her short bloopers, stick around to the end. As the Pokemon get larger, so do their bases. Charmeleon's base differs from Charmander's because it's not focused around a single move, but more so the actual power of the Pokemon. The rocks are shooting up from the sides as he prepares to unleash a fire attack. The effects that come with Charmeleon's base are similar to that of Charmander's, just a lot larger. They attach to the base by this sculpted little insert on the side. The blue stuff you see right there is called blue tack. It's actually like a putty, and what it does is it creates a thin layer between the actual insert and where the base cavity is. This does not harm the statue, and it allows it to fit in there more securely, just like you would use glue on something. I stuck a little bit of blue tack inside of Charmeleon's fire tail piece as well. And this is an edition size card that came with Charmeleon. Unfortunately, Charmander did not come with one of these. As you can see there was only 560 made. Let's go ahead and take a look at these details on him. Another flawless paint and sculpt job by MFC. On his forehead and throughout the body, you'll see some darker shades of red. The eyes are just like Charmander's in that they have that little thin gloss coat on them. I'll show you exactly how the tailpiece sits on this one. Like I said before, that little bit of blue tack makes it to where I don't have to use glue to hold everything together. And unfortunately, you can't really ship these things as one giant piece because it would risk too much breakages on it. Coming up after we put Charmeleon together, I'm going to need your help to decide on what background I should use for these statues in my IKEA Detolf display case. This effect piece was a little tricky to get in. You have to wrap it around his foot, and then that insert goes into the cavity. Though this one wasn't as dynamic as Charmander is, I love how powerful he looks while standing in this pose. With everything assembled, you can see how awesome he looks standing there. Taking a look at Charizard's base, you can see this thing is on a whole different level. All throughout the back, you can see the soot and smoke coloring. This white button will be used to illuminate the fire LEDs on the front of the statue. Powered via a micro USB, which comes with it. I'm not sure exactly what the base is themed after, but it kind of looks like some old or ancient Colosseum. It could just be a Pokemon stadium, but you can see how much destruction was caused by him using his flamethrower. There's a close-up of the wrecked Pokeball. There's so much stuff going on in this base, though, it's incredible. Here's where you can really begin to tell the difference between a high quality and a low quality collectible. On the left side, you'll see a metal peg coming out of it. That's to secure and fashion it to Charizard's back. Seriously, look at the paint job. It's so incredible. The blues and the blacks on the front, that orange and dark orange, really bringing out all the different tones in the wings. Sculpted onto the wing is a dust particle, as we saw on the base. For the main event himself, Charizard. There is not a flaw to be found on this bad boy. Similar to his left wing, you'll see some of the dust particles that were sculpted onto him. The metal peg is what helps him secure to the base. In the cavities there, you can see the little holes where the metal pegs from the wings will go into place. Holy freaking goodness, man. Look at the head sculpt. How perfect is that? The tail flame, unlike the others, actually has a small magnet impacted in there, and that helps it attach perfectly secure to the tail. Here you'll see how the wing attaches to the back of Charizard, and it's amazing how natural it looks, as if it wasn't even two different pieces. He is absolutely glorious. The only thing that I will say is when you see these all three side by side, Charizard I think could have been a little larger. Now is where I need your help in deciding what background I should use for my case. Option 1 is a volcanic theme. Option 2 is a sunset on a Colosseum, kind of reminds me of how the base was themed. Option 3 being a generic fiery background. Be sure to let me know what background you prefer in the comments, and I will go ahead and print that out in the very near future and share in my community post. Just in case you're not familiar with the micro USB power cord, I'll go ahead and give that a look. Definitely my favorite feature of the statue is the bright LEDs. I'll turn one of my studio lights off to set the mood a little more. All throughout the showcase, I hope you were able to get a good look at the difference in quality between kind of a low-end, cheap plastic Pokemon collectible and a higher-end resin version like this. They really did go for a super bright LED on this one, and let me tell you, as a kid, this would have been the nightlight of my dreams. Turning off my other studio light, you can see how he looks in pitch black dark. This whole piece just oozes with that cool factor. I'm going to mess with the autofocus on my camera so the flames can flicker a little bit. Now for the card that started all of this for most of us. For my PSA graded cards, I always decide to go with non-first editions and a PSA grade of 7. I do that for 2 reasons. First off, it's affordable, and second off, having all the starters next to each other and the PSAs being 777 just feels lucky. The power of nostalgia is such a real thing, and it's never more real than just looking at this card. I do have a stand that I have that it sits in with my IKEA Detolfs display case. If you do have any interest in purchasing some resin Pokemon statues, I do recommend that you visit my description area of this video to check out people that I trust directly, have bought from, and that you can go to find some awesome statues. Now I want to show you my setup and how they'll be looking inside of the case itself. At first I thought to have Charmander on the bottom, then Charmeleon kind of on the next step, and then Charizard on top, but I like the balance of having Charmeleon a little bit lower, since he's more taller than Charmander. I have them sitting on top of these plastic acrylic stands. And that wraps up today's showcase. Thank you so much for tagging along for this journey. Look forward to some more Pokemon statues in the very near future. As always, everybody, do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.
I just...